Alright everyone, I've already shut this guy down twice. About to do it again, so let's watch his clown-ass activist takes crumble.
So hello everyone. So that nigga again make a video on me. So yeah, this is a new video on him. Like until he do debate with me or stop yapping on YouTube, I would not gonna stop that.
Is, by definition, zero-dimensional. That much is clear, but here's the issue, entering a realm where space-time has vanished. That's not something you can just handwave with real-world logic. It's fiction, it's narrative convenience. It only works within the story's own rules, not as some universal scaling metric. Applying real-world physics to a fictional setting to wank a character's feats. That's not analysis. That's a foolish path to take, and it completely falls apart under any serious scrutiny. Anyway, using irreversible statements as a basis for scaling. That's not acceptable. That's bordering on logical fallacy, if not straight-up non sequitur. Let's make this simple. A higher dimensional being can move anywhere, including lower dimensional space. A 3D entity can traverse 2D coordinates in ways a 2D being can't even perceive, instantaneous movement beyond any concept of speed. But a 3D being cannot exist in 0D. If it somehow does, the narrative is breaking physics entirely, or that so-called subspace is actually either higher dimensional or non-dimensional space. Now look at the wiki tiering. Low outerversal characters exist beyond all possible dimensions. And that word, possible, covers every potential framework, mathematics, physics, Hilbert space, you name it. So here's the bottom line. All structures in tensai slime are missing the point. Subspace has explicit superiority over the dimensions present in that verse. But your tiny, shifting mind can't grasp that. Plain and simple. Now, about the debate itself, my stance was clear. Present feats that actually prove outerversal qualification. That's the baseline, but he never did. Instead, he kept circling the same points, relying on presumption and lack of concessions rather than substance. And here's the real joke. He brought in another person as a judge, without even telling me, let alone asking for my consent or checking with the previous judge. That's not just bad etiquette, that's a textbook fallacy of inappropriate authority. The whole
Okay, so first of all, his first claim is that the judge is irrelevant, that I don't even decide. So first of all, I mention him to be judge too. So yeah, this is the invisible ignoring fallacy. So second thing, that this is no non sequitur. There is nothing like non sequitur. My argument was that the spatial axis was essential property of space. Space can't exist if the spatial axis do not exist. So space can't exist, that you accept. And if space can't exist, so yeah, there is no dimension, and you accept that this is a 0D. So now we take the argument. Okay, so there is 0D. Okay, 0D means no space and no time. And now a human, a 3D being like Vega, I'm taking him a 3D being. So I said that 3D being able to exist there. So 3D being at least requires space and time to exist. But here is no space and time. So that means that there is non-dimensional place. That already proved that. Yeah, if it is a non-dimensional place, so yeah, that means it lacks space-time, and yeah, you can see that it is a low outer verse. Okay, so illogicality on top, first of all, and yeah, in my survey, this nigga literally crying, but now he's japping too much, literally with illogicality. Okay, I will go with more honesty. So first of all, see this beyond dimensional thing, which already said that it's low of reversal, and now go with honest. It lacked the space and time that you already exist. Accept this, that it lacked the space and time. And now second thing, that this nigga lose and badly, but okay, I will justify more than. But if you have guts, so come and do VC debate with me instead of making videos. Okay, now we go more strong. Okay, we just gonna drop this final line. So my final line is this, that this nigga have no knowledge about dimensionality, and yeah, a higher dimensionality can't exist in a lower dimension, because a higher dimension existence and quantifier is different than a lower dimensional quantifier, and there's a lot of things that the higher dimension require, lower dimension can't require. And yeah, wiki owners, yeah, those are literally as against this person, because he think that we require a dimension of dimension of universe. We have to transcend the dimension of universe. Okay, our words, if we have to scale character literally biggest as I saw. So you mean that those owner of wikis who literally give the dimensional theories on their wikis, those are as that you're using for scaling? Okay, so nigga, scaling does not work like this. Go and first learn scaling.
Okay, I don't care how good or different you think your judges. Swapping one without permission is a violation of formal debate, though that clearly never reached your brain. And your allegations, worse than garbage. Didn't know you were that low tier. Now let's see you try again. You're bringing real-world laws into power scaling, completely irrelevant. If there's no space and time, that's zero dimensions. A 9-year-old knows that. So subspace has no space-time, yet you're claiming a 3D being exists there, meaning physics still applies. How? That's narrative logic, kiddo. If it lacks common sense, it's not coherent enough to pass as truth. You clearly don't grasp dimensionality. I'm not here to teach you, just here to refute your arguments. Let me ask you this, you claim Vega entered subspace, so that makes it beyond dimensionality. Then explain how a three-dimensional being can enter a realm that's supposedly above all existence. Your logic doesn't hold up. So let me break it down. Subspace is a disjoint space. In Hausdorff dimensions, there are perpendicular axes that aren't connected to normal space-time. Subspace is a void, unparalleled, non-existent, yet a 3D being can exist there. That proves subspace is disconnected. And since a physical being can step foot in it, subspace must have an unconditional axis that transcends normal space-time. This concept actually aligns with the abstract foundation of higher dimensionality. Subspace logic isn't that hard to grasp. If a 3D being can enter a non-dimensional reality, that points to an unknown coordinate, something not tangible. Like I said before, subspace is beyond ordinary space-time, but that doesn't automatically scale it to outerversal. And about outerversal tier, lacking or transcending space-time alone isn't equivalent to low outerversal. You need authority over all concepts and realities, that's what the tiering system actually states. Transcending uncountable hierarchies is what gets you to low outerversal, not just existing in some abstract plane. Hope that sinks into that empty head of yours. About beyond dimensionality, a substance is always part of an upper layer substance. Same way, a higher reality is just an illusion compared to ultimate reality. Nothingness can also have different types. A void above dimensions is a proposition that needs clearer correction. Scaling is defined by hierarchical concepts, not assumptions. So subspace isn't non-dimensional, it's beyond dimensional according to the plot. But it has no qualification to be outerversal because it's just above 3D or 4D, making it a new additional space. And if you ask why? Simple, a living being can exist in a timeless realm, which contradicts the idea of subspace being outerversal. Okay, so you're asking me to join VC. I don't do VC, simple as that. Now, Anime Patania is lying about me claiming a 3D being can exist in 0D. I never said that. He's twisting my words. What I actually stated was that subspace could be higher dimensional or non-dimensional. A 3D being existing in 0D violates physics. I clearly said it's impossible for a living creature to enter a void. Anyway, he can't argue clearly and keeps talking nonsense. That's my conclusion, and this is my last debunk for him. I'm tired of dragging him down. So if you like this, like and subscribe to my video. Adios.